So today I wanted to check out a couple of these full-size die grinders, which are another tool that I use a ton, but they're mostly for metalworking. These ones can handle like bigger flap discs and things like that, as to where like the M12 little small ones, they can't handle spin and things like that. And this thing is about unstoppable. Um, you can put, I like using these black quartz discs on them. Those things work pretty good, and they're big discs, but these things can handle it. This is the second Kolbot one I had. The first one I got it, I tried it out. I ended up returning it. It was like $89, and it just I ended up paying like $116 for the Dewalt XR brushless, and this thing has tons of power, and it's a nice little grinder. It has 3 speeds in the front. Same with the Dewalt. But when this thing, just like with my angle grinders, when you turn this on, it's just on and going. And you really can't stop and switch speeds in between or anything either. So it's just going that speed, you put it on, and put it on low, and it doesn't work if you try and switch it while it's running. It won't change it. So you have to turn it off. The first one was 1,000. This one's 17.5, and then full speed is 2,500 RPMs, and that's on high with this one. I mean, it spins plenty of power and stuff, but just being on like that, and then you're working, and you gotta stop and unlock. It's just more stuff that you don't really want to have to deal with on something like a die grinder, where you're even grinding welds. You don't want to grind too deep. You don't want to gouge into the metal next to it. You just want to take the top off. So you want that control on a die grinder, whether it's a huge one or a small one. On the small ones like the M12s, they have an actual die grinder paddle switch like the metal ones on an air die grinder. But this one isn't bad, and I'll put flap discs on it when I'm cleaning like a nice sag rail or something, and I'll use that. But this is so much superior to have this trigger right here. This lock's kind of aggravating, but you just push the lock aside. I mean, it's not really a big deal. And it has the same speeds, but it feels like it has a lot more power. Of course, I have a lot more battery options with this. I usually run it on a 6 and an 8, but the 4 is pretty powerful. These compact 4s with the new 2700 cells aren't bad either. Just these die grinders pull a lot of power. That's another thing about the Kolbot. I've only ever seen a high output ultimate output. Sorry, Kolbot 24 volt ultimate output. The 4 amp hour is the only ones I've ever seen of these. And then this is a regular 4 amp hour. And these do give you a ton more runtime, and they do give you a little bit more power. And they have everything from power stacks to, I have flex volt batteries, and I have the big 6 and 8s with the new cells in them and stuff. And so this thing with this trigger, and you have that real nice control on it. It's a really nice design to work, to do that finessing that you need to do with the die grinder. You don't want to just be wide open and just going crazy and digging into all kind of stuff, making yourself more work. So this thing, even with the little power stacks, when these come out with the 5 amp hour batteries, I can't wait. Like, sometimes these bigger batteries have too much power. Like certain things I actually run 2 amp hour batteries on, because it gives it enough runtime, and it doesn't give it too much power. You start putting some of the bigger batteries on, and they even on the lowest speeds, they have too much power. So, but this thing, it likes the power. Angle grinders, die grinders, they'll breeze through batteries. So this thing is a really good design, and never bogs down, has plenty of power. They both have a halo light. This one has 3 LEDs in the halo. This one only has 2. So it's not really a halo technically, it's just 2 lights. But it's in a big ring and it does light the whole ring up pretty well. So it's like a faux halo. It's not a real one like in some of those skills and stuff. They have a real fully lit halo light and those are a really cool design. But Dewalt and Kolbot don't have that. So, but yeah, this is pretty similar in the way they're made and everything. It's just one has a lock and one has a trigger. So that's the trigger is my selling point for this one. And the second time I bought it though, I couldn't turn it down because it was $39 and they still have it actually, I believe. Buy more, save more. So if you spend $300, it costs you $200. And I got this. I got a bunch of other tools I'm going to do some reviews on, and maybe I'll line up and weld some metal and I'll grind them both and do a head-to-head or something with it. I like to do my talking videos separate from my actual grinding and cutting in those loud videos, so that if people don't want to listen to all the cutting and stuff, and so you can go ahead and just watch that one after, you know, so. But I will do some cutting and stuff with some of these. I'm actually going to get this painted frame out of here and set it over on the other side and get ready to start doing up these axles, get this thing on a rolling chassis, and we'll be able to start getting it put together, and then I'll start making the body and I'm doing some videos on that. I just haven't got around to getting to make them or anything, and figured I'd do a couple of reviews. Well, thanks for watching.